Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought. I thought I've met Vicky
Here, boo.
before.
I'll put the camera
Greg.
on after we get done.
Okay. And Greg, what office are you at?
Me, I'm at the Salt Lake.
Perfect. And then Fred, I'm just taking notes. Fred, what office are you at?
I'm at the Salt Lake office.
Salt Lake office. Okay, Greg, Salt Lake. And then Amber, how about you? Let's see.
Sorry, I'm at the Cottonwood office.
The Cottonwood. Okay, perfect. So we've got a variety, and Vicky is at South Valley. So like Terry mentioned, I am with the South Valley office as well. I'm in my third year of real estate and I love it. I love, love, love what I do. But some of the things that places that I've learned the most have been in Ignite. And this was one of my favorite classes that was taught because this is totally my personality to host open houses. I'm a very social person. And so I do love that. One of the first things, and I am going to go ahead, if I can get that information from Terry when we're done here. If I could get all of your emails, I'm going to email you guys over some stuff that has been very helpful for me during the process of holding open houses. So one of the most important reasons to hold an open house, yes, is to sell the house and to let other people walk through it. But another reason is so that you can get referrals so that you can find new buyers that are not represented. And give me just 1 second while I am trying to make my screen bigger. I don't know what it's doing. Let me see here. Sorry, you guys, I'm just trying to get
Are
this.
you wanting to share your screen or are you wanting your face to be bigger? I was going to make
Probably
your
my
face
face to be
bigger.
bigger because right now all I see is let me see. There we go. That's better. Because all I
Does
could
that work?
see, yes, is just a big V for Vicky. So I was trying to see myself.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Getting at. Okay. So anyways, there is a lot of preparation that comes with hosting open houses, but this is going to be one of your best places that you can find new clients. I would say one of the stats that I learned when taking this class is that for every 10 buyers that walk through the house, there will generally be 2 that are not represented. So you want to make sure that you can catch those buyers and catch all their information so that you can be the person to represent them. So doing an open house is a great way to build your database. That's so important, especially when you're first starting out. And I wanted to just say, if any of you guys have any questions, just please jump in and ask at any time because I can explain anything or answer any questions that you have. I love when it is interactive. So if there's any questions, jump on right now and ask them. But so to begin with, you want to do some preparation for the open house. And so a lot of times, if you're not holding your own open, generally another agent will give you several days notice so that you can be prepared. So the first things that I like to do to prepare for the open house is the very first thing I do is call the title company. And so right now there's several that you can use. The one that I use is Oasis Title. I love that company, but Real Advantage Title is really great too. And I know that they're in our office. Well, I believe every Keller Williams has a Real Advantage in their office. If not, they're a great company to work with. But I call the title company, I give them everyone does. Okay, thanks, Tara, if that was you who answered that. I give the title company a call, tell them the address that I will be hosting an open house for, and then they will come up and they'll print me a report with, so I can use it for circle prospecting. So they'll give me phone numbers, addresses, things like that. They have a program, I can't remember what it's called, but they have this great system where they can tell you, like, let's say I'm holding an open house at my own house right now. So I would give them my address and then they have a system where they can go around in my neighborhood, tell me how long people have been there, the people that are most likely to buy or how long, so if somebody's been there, let's say 8 years, they would be higher up on the list as someone that may be interested in selling their property. So I make sure to target those people that fall in that range and give them a call and just let them know that I'm doing an open house and invite them to it. I also will get the MLS property. So for instance, just last week, I had Antonio Morales. He did an open house for my listing up in South Weber. And I tried to send him the MLS. Probably, I think I sent it to him 4 or 5 days before the property. He did a fantastic job. Fantastic. I was so impressed with his work ethic. But what he did was he made flyers, and I brought a couple of them. I wanted to show you this. So my cards are, I don't know if you can see them. These are my business cards. So the green is kind of my color. So sometimes I will do my open houses to match, or my flyers to match. So I will make up a flyer, and then I will always print out in color, make sure you do it in color, the MLS sheets to go with it. And I'll usually either staple these together, or I bought some really cute paper clips. I don't have them right here with me, that are like in the shape of a key or a house. And I will put those together for my open house. But so I get those done. I start promoting my my open house generally 3 to 5 days before I hold it. And then always the day before is usually when I'll go door knocking, and I will introduce myself to the neighbors, tell them that I am, ask them if they have anybody that they know that is interested in moving into the neighborhood, and leave the flyer with them. A lot of times you have to check with your seller first, but a lot of times I will invite the neighbors a half hour early. So if the open house is being held from 11 to 1, I will invite the neighbors to come at 10:30 to get the first look. So a lot of times that's nice because you get a little bit more one-on-one time with them. You can kind of see if they're wanting to sell, if they know anybody who is. And this is just to get a great time to get a lot of information from them to see if they could be a potential sell and buy for you. So that's just one of the things I do. The next thing is it's so important to understand the problem.
Really quick, Shelly,
Yes.
Vicky has a question.
Oh, sorry, I'm not seeing the chat, but I apologize,
That's
Vicky.
okay. That's why I monitor it for you.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, thank you so much. Let's see.
yeah. Hi, Shelly. So
Yeah,
I have a question. When you trying to do an open house for some other agent,
yes,
you mentioned talk to the title company first.
yes.
So what should I say when I communicate with them?
With the title company. So I just
Yes.
so I either just do it by phone, or I go into Real Advantage Title and I just talk with Liz. If I go into Real Advantage, if I talk to Oasis, I will call either Lori or Bo at Oasis, and I just tell them I'm about to hold an open house at this address. Can you pull up this address and then get me the name of the people that are in the surrounding area? And so they'll print me up a call list, or they'll email it to me over, and then I'll start cold calling to the people that are in the neighborhood. And it works really great. And then they
Okay.
also, like with Real Advantage, the thing that I love about them is that they'll print me out a list, but they can also narrow it down to, like I mentioned, these people have been here for 8 years. These people are renting. Make sure you always hit their renters, because a lot of times, they're just renting to see if they like an area. They're wanting to save up and move into another home. And so a lot of times you can find a potential buyer with those that are renting.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's what I do. And they're really great to help you. They're really
Yeah, this is really helpful because I did a open house 2 weeks ago.
okay.
There's just one person showed up, so I'm not
Okay.
sure if they advertise enough or the vacation July 4th coming up.
Right. And
Yes.
that makes a difference, just so you are aware. A lot of times holidays will make a difference, and you'll get
Yeah.
people in the open house, especially this month of July. It seems to be the biggest travel month of the year. And so it is harder to get people there.
It's so helpful if you can get some information from title company. I didn't know this. And I'm glad I'm in your class to know this
Good.
information. Thank you so much.
You bet, Vicky. One
Hey,
other
Vicky.
thing.
We also have, sorry,
on-
I was gonna
yeah,
jump
this
in and
is-
say Marcel just
Oh,
jumped
yes,
on, so.
see, this is what I was telling you, Marcel. So
Yep.
Marcel and Liz are fantastic at helping with that information.
Yep. So Vicky, if you ever want to sit down, I can definitely go over that and see how it can help you out.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. So
Yeah,
I'll
Marcel.
try to
This is
I'll
crazy.
try to message you and to see if you have some available time and
Sure.
match with my time. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you bet.
definitely. Thank
They're-
you.
Vicky, they're fantastic. I just went in and spoke with Liz last week. I've been an agent for almost 3 years and I still will go in. Their system is incredible. Like, honestly, their system is, in my opinion, it can't be
Yeah.
matched by any other title company. So
Yeah,
Thank you.
this is totally new information for me. I didn't know I can get help from a title company before I do open
yes,
house.
yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much.
So you're welcome. Another thing I want, so before holding the open house, make sure you get this out on social media. So one thing that a lot of new agents don't know that they can do that I didn't realize in the beginning is you can pay to have your ad boosted. So you can do an ad. So for like 3 or 4 days before the open house, I'll usually pay, it's like $50. You can decide how much you want to spend. So you can spend 20, you can spend 30, 40, 50, whatever it is you want. And you can pay to have your ad boosted and that will get more people into your open house as well. So
Okay.
I have found that to really help.
Yes.
And it's,
So
it's a
yeah.
minimal charge.
Yeah, you just do those advertisement from Facebook or from
Yes.
which?
So
Okay.
I do Facebook and Instagram both, and you can do that on command. There is sometimes, so Kimber, I know that they've taught classes on how to do this. If I run out of time, I believe she's your guys' TC. It's Cassandra Weatherford. And I text her last week and so the last couple weeks I've just texted her and said, can you do an ad for me? And she's very reasonably priced. I think she charged me $25 to do it for me. I just didn't have time. And so she did
Okay.
it. So for
This
me,
is so helpful too. Thank you so much.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Another thing that you can do that I always do when I hold my own listings, I don't do it generally if I'm doing a listing for another agent, just because it's costly. But if it's
I
my
see.
own listing on command, you can also send out postcards. And so I usually will send out about 250 postcards. You can choose the area. I always choose it, within a couple mile radius of the property.
Yeah.
And I'll send out postcards too for to let them know about the new home that just hit the market and the open house opportunity. So that's something that I do.
Yeah, great
Um,
information.
And then the other thing, there's kind of a rule of thumb. Terry actually taught me this a few years ago. I have it written down with her name by it. But when Terry taught me that when you're doing door knocking around your listing, to do 10 doors each way. So she wants to she told me in the beginning to make sure you hit at least 20 doors so that those people all know, what time it is, when it's for sale, and to see if they know anybody. So that's been very helpful too.
Yeah.
Okay, so just one second here. So if this is your own listing, so I know in the beginning, a lot of times you'll do open houses for other agents because you're just starting. And so you want to, be able to get some new clients. But if this is your own listing, before you do an open house, you want to make sure that the house looks presentable. So go through with your buyers, make sure that it's organized, make sure that there's been a deep cleaning, that it's been staged if necessary. If not, it just needs to look clean. Toilet seats down, toilet paper put away, garbage is taken out, things like that. One of the things that you can do to most increase your the sales price of the house, is to have a great curbside appeal. So I always tell my clients, please make sure, if it's the summer, spring, summer, fall, please make sure you have like a wreath on your door, flowers, a flower pot outside. Make sure that the driveway has been pressure washed and that the door is clean. We'll do just kind of all sorts of things. Make sure the grass has been mowed and the lawn is trimmed, and just whatever you can do to make sure that it looks nice. So I always suggest a welcome mat. If they don't have one, I'll generally buy them. They're like 10 or $12 and bring it to them and just say, this is for you, and it makes your house look nicer. So that's important.
Great.
Sometimes, if they don't have a lot of money, sometimes as part of their closing gift, I will go ahead and pay for a cleaner as well. So.
Good to
and
know. Thank you.
you bet. So again, before the open house, we want to make sure that it looks nice, that it's decluttered, that there's no tripping hazards, make sure the sidewalks are okay, free and clear of everything. And again, make sure that the curb appeal is nice. So like I said, okay, this is something that is really important. So the day of the open house, you want to make sure if your open house is there from 11, let's say it's 11 to 1, I always make sure I'm there by 10:15. So the rule of thumb is to put out 10 directional signs. I personally only own 6, so I only use 6, and then I have a big sign at the house. But I will go to all the major roadways where they cross, where people can see, get the most visibility, and bring in the most traffic. And so I will place 6 signs, and then I put usually 2 or 3 balloons I attach to my signs, so that as people are passing by, their eye goes straight to the balloon and they see that there's going to be an open house sign. So I order those ahead, generally from Peterson's grocery store. They usually have helium, so I'll usually do that. And I give myself plenty of time to place those signs. So, because it takes time to tie the balloons and all of that. So I make sure I am there at least 45 minutes early to do that. When I come to my open houses, I always bring small water bottles. Before I've brought soda, I know some people bring soda. My fear is always that they're going to spill on my seller's carpet or their house and make a mess. So I've kind of changed over the 3 years, and I just do the small water bottles. If you do the big ones, they tend to throw them away. You know, they waste half of it. So I do the small water bottles, and then I will usually do like a treat, any type of treats, but I usually have them so that they're snack packs of something. In the beginning, I would bring swig cookies pretty often, or crumble cookies, and just kind of have them cut, but they tend to drop crumbs on the sellers, on their carpet or their kitchen, and it just kind of looks a little bit more dirty. So I do things that are easy to pick up. I do fruit snacks for the little kids. Sometimes I make sure to have a big bowl of mints there as well. And then I just do other snacks, granola bars, anything that's just pick up and easy to go. So I just make sure to have that. And then, like I said, I got this just off of Amazon, and it's just a plastic holder, and I keep everything in there. And then I've got a plastic holder also for my cards. So I will do something like that. And then I have, like I said, I have the treats that I always display. And then I always bring something for them to take home, because I want them to take my stuff. I want them to have my name. So like, for instance, this is just an extra one from what I did. It was just a hand sanitizer. And it just says, "You are in good hands with all of your real estate needs." I don't know if you can see it, but anyway, and then it has my information on there. So I always just give that to them to take home, so that they can kind of remember. Okay, so once you're set up and everything, and you've already placed your balloons, I like to tell my clients to be out of the house by 30 minutes prior, so that I can get everything done, so they're not distracting me. One of the things I always ask the sellers, even though I've already done this before listing the property, I always ask the sellers what would be their selling point in the house. And I make sure to point that out to the people coming in, because let's see, because it's important that, something that you may not know, that the lights dim, or that, whatever it may be, whatever's important to them, I make sure to let the buyers know that that's happening, and that's one of the nice features of the house. So okay, a couple of things. There's some things. This is the other thing that I have, and I'm sure that Terry has given them to you. If not, please let me know, because I'm happy to email all of the stuff. But this is what it's got, Keller Williams. It's a sign-in sheet, just the name, the email, and phone number. So this one I actually don't love. And the reason why I don't love it is because it says right here, it says, "Are you working with an agent?" I don't like that question. I have changed it so here's one. It's just kind of a blank one, but this one right in here just says agent name. Because what I have found is that a lot of people don't want to be harassed. So they're worried if they tell you that they don't have an agent that you're going to harass them. And so I always just say, please write down your agent's name so I can contact them afterwards. Like if they have any questions or something, that I can contact their agent and have their agent answer those questions, and that I can get her that information. But I find that I have a lot better feedback from people if they have to write their agent's name. Otherwise, they'll just write that they're already represented, which then in the intern you can't contact them. So make sure to have this. One thing that I do that is fun and has really helped people with the sign-in process, because a lot of people, like I said, do not like to sign in. So one of the things that I've helped that is fun, and this I love it actually. I will have it. So I have them write their name, and then I bring these little cards and they can write their name on them, and then they enter it into, they fold it over and put it into a bowl, and they enter into a drawing. So when I did mine, another one of my listings a couple of weeks ago, I had them enter, there was 3 prizes. One was like a $10 gift card to Swig. One was the Amazon Echo. And I'm trying to remember what the third one, I don't remember what it was, but 3 people that came through the house were able to win a prize. So the good thing about this too is that the three people that won, none of them were represented. And I told them that I would call them after it was over if they won. And so I ended up calling, I sent them a text and said that they had won. And then they sent me back their address so that I could go drop it off. So the gift card I did mail, but the Echo Dot, I personally went and dropped it off, and I had the best time. And I met new clients, and they're going to be buying in the summer, not till next summer because they're in school, but we have kept in contact, and I got to go in and sit and have a conversation with him and his wife. So it was fantastic. So that's just another way you can get really good follow-up with stuff like that. And they're better to sign in. Are there any questions?
So do you do that at every open house or just like sometimes?
I do it at my own always, if it's my own listing. If it's somebody else's listing, I will, but I'll just do like $5 gift cards to Starbucks or something like that. Or like in the summer, I've done like a swimming towel or something like that. So I don't always do more expensive ones, but I generally will do just smaller $5 ones or something, and they love it. One time it was for St. Patrick's Day, I got this cute green bucket and I filled it full of the gold, oh my gosh, they're the caramels that you suck on, Werther's caramels, because they're wrapped in gold. So it's just something simple and cute for St. Patrick's Day. But yeah,
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Could you email us those sign-in sheets?
Yeah,
That would be great.
absolutely. Yes. And
Yeah.
Terry's going to get me all of your email addresses. And so I will send you over. I'm just going to write this down. Email you over the sign-in sheets.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that would be perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So here's one thing I want to make sure I hit on. What time are we at? Oh my goodness, it's already going fast. One thing that I want to make sure that I talk to you about is the importance of, especially for women, the importance of not being alone. I have done so many open houses alone, and I had something happen. It wasn't anything major. Nothing happened to me, but there was a gentleman that came in, and like the way he was speaking to me and asking me if other people were there with me and stuff, I will never do an open house alone. So there are so many people, such as like, I know that title companies will help, your lenders. I bring my husband sometime or one of my sons, but my biggest tip for the women listening is to have someone else there with you, just for safety reasons. I have asked, yeah, did somebody have a question?
Well, just more of a comment on this. Like if it's a girl doing it by herself, just
Yeah.
let them roam the house. Do not fall into any rooms. Don't get back into any corners. Make sure when you're parked, you are parked on a street where you can exit fastly, just to put that
Yes.
out there. And I recommend that every single real estate agent at the minimum should pack pepper spray. Personally, I pack a gun and pepper spray, but that's just me. So
I mean,
I
yeah, I'm a
pack-
cashier. I do too, bro. I'm a cashier.
Yeah.
I carry pepper spray too.
Yeah, I've got pepper spray on my keychain. I've got it around my neck at all times. My husband, when he comes with me, he can still carry, he has a permit and he will bring his gun. Again, that's only happened since that interaction happened with that man that he's done that, but just for my safety.
Better safe than sorry.
It is. And then your lender. So if you guys have a great lender, the lenders are always willing to come and help you. And in fact, I haven't done it, but I know that just on a lot of times you can put like the lender's name at the bottom, and a lot of the lenders will help you pay for, you know, the marketing material too, if they can be co-hosted with you on it. So that's an idea too, to help keep your costs down. Okay. So a couple of things, just make sure when you're holding an open house, you dress professionally and make sure that you have a name tag. You want to be known and recognized as the realtor in charge. There will be other agents that are bringing their clients through, but just make sure that you are professionally dressed and that you're standing. I generally stand. So if when you walk through the house, if there's a table right there, I'll set stuff there at the table to welcome people in and sign in and stuff. If not, I have them come through the kitchen, and that's where I'll have them take the time to sign, you know, to do the sign-in sheet, introduce myself, and I just make sure that I'm standing close to that. Sometimes people will want you to walk through the house. This is the other thing about having two people. It's so nice to have two people because you can keep someone at the kitchen, you know, table where you have the sign-ins, and then other people can roam the house, and you can answer questions to the people, because a lot of times there's several people at one time, so it gets a little bit tricky because you want to be available to everybody. So again, biggest thing, come with two people. It can get a little bit crazy. So make sure you highlight the property's best features. Okay, this is what, as newer agents, you guys, this is what I would do. Before you come to the open house, study the homes around the area. Make sure you know all the details about the house that you are doing an open house for, because you will get asked, you know, what's the HOA? Do you know the age of the water heater? All the different questions you get asked. So make sure you know the square footage, the school districts. So study the crap out of that house before you host an open house, because you don't want to look stupid and not know your information. Another thing that sometimes I will do, I keep it off to the side, because obviously it's to sell, you know, your goal is to help sell this house. But if there are other buyers who this house doesn't fit, get their information and just say, you know, there's a few other properties. Have you looked at those around here? So just kind of make yourself aware of what's for sale in, you know, a mile radius, and then you can have them go elsewhere if this one, you know, is not going to work for them. And that, you know, it helps you to look like the agent that knows what they're doing. So that would be maybe my second biggest thing. One of the other things is make sure you ask lots of questions. Don't ask yes or no questions, because people are really reluctant to give out any information, and they'll answer yes and then they'll stop, or they'll answer no and then they'll stop. But if you truly want to get to know a buyer, ask questions and then shut your mouth and listen. That's what I literally have it written down from the one that I took 3 years ago. It was Nick, and Nick said, shut your mouth and listen. So one thing that'll make you look like a great agent is to, let's say, there's something in the house that might need fixing, or there's something in their house that they talk to you about, like, oh, I want to move, I'm having water problems, or I'm having, you know, I need this, this, and this done to my house before I can sell. Well, you're going to look like the hero after if you take their information, you take notes down of what they need, and then you follow up an email or call or text with all of the information. You look like the hero if you're giving them a good handyman or a good roofer or a good plumber. So make sure you shut your mouth and listen, take notes, and then follow up. So those, you know, those are just some things that are important. I usually, so on the back of my open house sheet, or if I have a second one next to their name, if there's nobody else in the house, or if they've gone, you know, let's say it says Stan Clark, and then I will put on the back, I'll put, you know, Stan Clark, and then I'll put like 3 kids interested in doing this. So I make sure that I take notes on this. And then when I enter them into my command under the notes or activity, I'll put, like spoke with at this open house, and I always put the address, and then has 3 kids interested in this amount, so that I can always remember who it is and it'll jog my memory. And then you can follow up with, like has questions about a plumber, that type of thing. And then make yourself the prompts to follow up with it. Make yourself some tasks in there. Okay, so once that is over, my follow-ups generally consist of, I will go, so as soon as I'm done, I clean everything up. That's the most important thing. You want to leave a good taste in your seller, a good impression for your seller. So I always clean up. I want the place to look better than when I started. So if we have trash from the open house, from like the treats or whatever it is I bring, I make sure I take it out to the outside garbage. If there's any thing on the floor, I sweep it up, wash down the counters and put everything away so that it looks nicer than when you left. So that is one thing. And then I will go out into my car, and for each person on the open house sign in, I will do a personal video. So I'll just do a little, 20-30-second video saying, thank you so much for taking the time to come today. Even if they have an agent, I will thank them. I don't ask them, if they have an agent, they're off limits. You can't do anything, but I will still do a little video and thank them for coming. And then I'll end that with saying, please let your agent know to contact me if you guys have any questions. But for the others, I will give them so I'll send them a little video, and then I will, if everybody has a contact card, do you guys all have contact cards on your phone? Does anybody have those?
Are you talking about the Blink?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I will send them a little video, and then I just will send them my Blink card so that they will have my picture so they can remember who it is, my address, my website, my email, all of that. So I'll follow up in that. And then after that, so that's what I do first. Within an hour or 2 hours tops, I always send the little videos to them. So then I will go home. I'll put them, the ones that might be potential buyers, I'll put them on one of Kimber's, usually her follow-up plans. I'll put them, add them to that. And then if they need any additional information, if they needed questions, had any questions on plumbers or whatever, I'll follow up with that as well. So I'll do that in email form. I'll send them that little video. I always try to get 3 touches out of the new contacts that I've received. So anyway, so when you send the personal videos, I would say that's kind of when you shine as an agent. There's not a lot of agents who will take the time to do that. So it's really important to be able to make those touches and to make a video is a lot more personal than a text, and they'll remember you by it. So that is one of the things I would say, if you learn anything from this, it would be to follow up with that. The next thing I do after that is I will do an email or a text form and send all the information to my seller. So generally I'll have a phone call as well, but then I put it in an email format and send it to my seller so that they have everything documented of who came through, if there are any interested buyers, that type of thing, and just give them all of the information. Also, I will ask the people who, when I send them the video, I'll just say, if you wouldn't mind texting me back, I would love to hear your perspective on this house, what you like, what you don't like, if there's anything that you would change, how you feel about the price, that type of thing. And then I will give that feedback to my sellers as well. So this is what I had Antonio do an open house for me. Like I said last week, he is fantastic, and I want you guys all to follow in his lead and do the same thing. So he did this for me, and I didn't even ask him to do this. He called me when it was done. He told me all about the people that came through. And then again, a couple of days later, he followed it up with an email and has been fantastic. He went and did door knocking for me. He made great flyers. He approved them all through me. And he just did a really great job. So if you want the other agents to use you, do a great job at their open houses, and make sure you follow up with them. Thank the agent for letting you do it. And just give them all of as much feedback as you possibly can, and then work those leads that you get. Anyway, do you guys have any questions at all? No? Okay. Well, so I would just say a couple things just to follow up. Make sure that you take notes. Make sure that you follow up, because that is where you're going to find success, is to follow up. Because if you get that information and don't do anything with it, you're never going to get a buyer. You'll never get new clients. So make sure you follow up and don't give up. It takes sometimes 10 times of follow-up before you'll get a client to want to do anything with you. So don't give up on that. Just make sure you follow through. Again, safety in numbers, and then make sure you are staying updated on market trends. And if you're in a certain neighborhood, know that neighborhood. So do as much research as you can on the neighborhood. Even when you're door knocking, ask the neighbors what they like about it, what they don't like. If there's anything that is difficult about the neighborhood, you want to be able to know all those things. So I would just say study like crazy. And it'll get easier with each open house, but just make sure you know the area. And then just make it fun. One final thing I wanted to tell you that was probably the best open house ever is I did an open house, and it was close to Halloween. So I made little invitations, and I door knocked and invited all the kids in the neighborhood to come and trick or treat at the house on that open house date. So I just made these little tiny bags of candy, and I was dressed up like a witch, and they all came through the house, and they brought their parents, and it was so much fun. And I got the best feedback, and we got that house under contract within 2 days. So, and it was somebody from the open house. So you can do things like that around holidays and just make it fun. So have good treats, have lots of visibility, balloons, social media as much as you can, and then it will be a success. So you guys just make sure you find a solution to people's problems. Make sure you follow up with the agent, thank them for letting you do their open house. And anyway, that's all I have. I hope that you guys have learned something. I'm happy to send out my notes and my sign-in sheets and anything else, but I will also attach my phone number and my email address, because I'm on the leadership committee at the South Valley, and I love to help people. I love to help teach new agents. And if any of you want to shadow me anytime, you can do that as well. So thank you for being here, for paying attention. Thank you for asking questions. And I wish you guys nothing but the very best and the most success. So thanks, you guys.
I appreciate it, girl.
Good job. You've been fabulous. Thank you for your time.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Okay.